The one reason why he was attracted to me was the one reason why we're not together. He couldn't handle the fact that I had nude pictures.
Okay, so we're diving deep today into a story that I know a lot of you have been curious about and have even sent us some stuff about.
Yeah.
We're talking about the R&B singer Blu Cantrell, and specifically a YouTube video that you guys sent in. It's called R&B Singer Blu Cantrell Confirms What We Feared. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, so we're going to try to dissect the claims and, all the information in this video and talk about, her rise to fame. What were some of the things that maybe, got in her way, and then ultimately what led to her kind of disappearing from the public eye.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that sounds super interesting. And yeah, that video really goes through a lot. It talks about, her early life beginnings, how she even got into music. Obviously her hit songs, which I think we all remember and, love.
Yeah, for sure.
Some of the controversies that kind of followed her career, the nude photos, the whole record deal situation, and then it goes into like all the rumors about her maybe having a relationship with Jay-Z, and how her music kind of gets compared to Beyonce's, which I think is really interesting. And then, talks about her personal struggles and kind of ends on a note of like, was there industry sabotage? Is she kind of pushed out of the industry?
Yeah, it's a lot of layers here.
Exactly.
So for you listening, our goal today is to kind of break down like what are the major events that happened? What are the factors that really shaped her career?
Yeah.
All according to this video. So
yeah.
Hopefully we can piece together all these different narratives and try to get a clear picture of what really went down.
Yeah, and like help people understand, what may have happened.
Right.
And kind of make sense of it all.
Exactly. Okay, so let's dive in. And I think a natural place to start is with her early life. So where did it all begin for Blu Cantrell?
Okay, so Blu Cantrell, her real name is actually Tiffany Cobb.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and the Blue nickname apparently came from her just really loving the color blue.
Oh, that's sweet.
That's kind of cute, right?
Yeah, I like that.
But she was born in Rhode Island. Okay.
And raised by her mother, who was a jazz singer.
Oh, wow. Okay, so there was musical influence right from the start.
There you go.
In a single-parent home with 5 siblings.
5 siblings?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so a big family.
Yeah, big family. And the video mentions that her dad was a former NBA player.
Oh, wow.
But wasn't really around after he left when she was pretty young.
Okay, so, obviously a very musical household from the mom's side, but then also the realities of, a single-parent home with a lot of kids to take care of.
Right.
Okay, so then at 17, she makes a huge move, right? She goes to New York City to pursue her singing dreams.
Exactly.
So, it sounds like those early days were not easy, were they?
Not at all, no. The video really paints this picture of like, breaking into the music scene is tough.
Oh, for sure.
And especially back then, it's not like it is today where you can just, post things online. So,
Totally, yeah.
She had to work multiple jobs to make ends meet. And then at 18, she posed for adult magazines as a way to kind of get some quick cash.
Oh, wow.
Which is something that the video really points out becomes a big controversy later on in her career.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show you, like, what young artists sometimes have to do to just survive and make their dreams happen.
Right. Sometimes you make choices not realizing how they might come back later.
Yeah,
totally.
like trying to get by.
Exactly. And so this is also around the time that she adopts the stage name, right? Blu Cantrell, which is a combination of her nickname Blue and her grandmother's last name, which I always think is so interesting, like how artists come up with their stage name.
I know, it's so cool. It's really cool.
It's like their superhero name almost.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like their alter ego.
Yeah, I love it.
So before she was like, a solo artist, she was actually in a girl group called 8th Avenue.
Okay.
And this group was put together by Teddy Riley, who's like, a huge name in like the new Jack Swing R&B world.
A huge producer. Yeah,
right,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, but, as things go in the music industry, it's unpredictable.
Oh, for sure.
His other group, Blackstreet, kind of had some issues, fell apart, and 8th Avenue ended up disbanding too.
Oh, wow.
So it's just, an early taste of how unstable things can be.
Right. You think you're on your way and then boom.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not your fault even.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
It's just the nature of the business.
The nature of the beast. Okay. So then she ends up in Atlanta in 2000, and it's because of a really difficult family situation.
Yeah. Her sister was in a really bad car accident and was in a coma.
Oh, wow.
And so she wanted to be there for her family.
Of course.
Be close to them.
Yeah.
And it's in Atlanta that she has a couple of really important encounters that kind of change everything for her.
Yeah, Atlanta's like a hub, right?
You
For
could-
R&B and hip hop.
It is like a musical hub.
Okay, so who does she meet?
So she meets Christopher Tricky Stewart
Okay.
in a hotel lobby, like totally by chance. Yeah, and if you don't know Tricky Stewart, he's a co-founder of Red Zone Entertainment.
Okay.
And he's like super well known in the industry, like a big songwriter, producer. He's worked with a ton of people.
Wow.
And what's really interesting is the video also says that around the same time she meets Usher.
Oh, wow.
Like just randomly.
Oh my gosh, so she's just running into all the...
I know, right?
Right? Yeah, it's like fate, you know?
Totally.
But it's Tricky Stewart that really becomes like her champion.
Oh, okay.
Like he's so impressed with her talent that he invites her to sing background vocals
Oh, wow.
for some huge artists like Faith Evans, Puff Daddy, Aaron Hall.
What?
Yeah, like some big names. And not only that,
Yeah.
he actually offers her a place to stay in his home in Atlanta with his family.
Wow, he really saw something in her.
He did. He really believed in her. And I think it's, it's really touching to see that kind of support.
It is. It's huge, right? Especially when you're
Especially
trying to make it in a new city and everything. Yeah. Yeah, when you're away from your family and you're going through something,
Absolutely.
that's huge.
Absolutely. Okay, so Tricky Stewart, what does he do for her career-wise? Like, does he connect her with anybody?
He does. He actually, he makes her this promise that he's going to use his industry connections to introduce her to L.A. Reid,
Okay, yeah.
who was the president of Arista Records at the time, like a huge power player.
Major label, yeah.
Huge, right? And so he delivers.
Wow.
He gets her in the room with L.A. Reid,
Okay.
and L.A. Reid is blown away by her talent,
Wow.
and like right there on the spot offers her a record deal.
Wow, that is amazing.
I know, right? So exciting, but Tricky Stewart, being like the good guy that he is,
Yeah,
tells her like, hold on, let's not jump into anything. Let's talk about this.
yeah.
And they actually ask L.A. Reid to leave the room
Oh, wow.
so they can discuss it privately.
That's smart, though.
It is, right? Because, you don't want to just sign the first thing that comes your way,
No, especially in the music industry.
especially in the music industry. Yeah.
So it turns out that caution was like really smart because
Right.
word gets out about Blu's talent and a bidding war erupts.
No way.
Yeah, 10 different record labels want to sign her.
Oh my God.
So you can imagine how crazy that must have been for her.
Oh my God.
Like to go from, struggling to pay rent to like 10 record labels.
Oh my gosh, that's like a fairy tale almost.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But L.A. Reid, he was not about to let her go.
Yeah.
He offers her what's considered like the best financial deal at the time. And to top it off, he throws in a Ferrari.
What a flex.
I know, right? So, she's got to be feeling on top of the world at this point.
Oh yeah.
Like all her hard work is finally paying off.
Totally.
So she ends up signing with Arista.
Okay.
But the video points out something really important about this contract.
Okay.
It basically says that she signed away all of her future profits,
Oh wow.
which is, a pretty big deal.
Huge, right? Because she's getting all this money up front, but then, right, she gets all this money up front, but then in the long run, she's not making anything.
And this is going to come back later, right, when we talk about, finances and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It comes back to bite her later on.
Okay, so she signs this deal. She starts working on her debut album, so Blu.
Yeah.
And one of the first songs she records is Hit 'Em Up Style.
Oh man, that song is so good.
It's such a banger, right?
It is such a good song.
And it went to number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Number 2.
That's huge.
That's massive.
Yeah, for a debut single, that is incredible.
Absolutely. And it was written and produced by Dallas Austin.
Okay.
Who's also like, a super big name in the industry. Another great collaboration for her early on.
Wow, she's working with all the best.
I know, right? She's killing it.
Yeah.
She also gets to work with the legendary producers Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Oh my God, what?
I know.
That's incredible.
Like icons, right?
Yeah.
And they work together in Indianapolis. And the video talks about this really sweet story about how they created the song I'll Find a Way.
Okay.
And it was inspired by her sister's, health struggles and also a tough relationship that Blu was going through at the time.
Okay.
So it's like, those personal experiences really fueled this beautiful song.
Oh, that gives me chills. I love when you hear those stories behind the songs.
Me too. It makes it so much more meaningful.
Yeah, totally.
So Blu finally comes out in July 2001,
Okay.
and it goes gold.
Wow.
which is huge for a debut album.
Yeah, that's a lot of sales. That's great.
It is a lot of sales.
Yeah.
It means people are really connecting with her music.
Yeah.
And the video actually mentions that she was really hands-on with promoting the album.
Oh, wow.
Like, she would go to record stores and talk to the owners and be like, hey, you need to stock more of my album.
Oh, my God. That's amazing. I love that hustle.
It is, right? It's
Yeah.
like that grassroots effort that really helps
Totally.
build a fan base.
Absolutely. Okay, so as her career is taking off, her personal life is also becoming a topic of interest.
Right.
And she starts dating this NBA player.
Yeah. They don't name him in the video,
Okay.
but it says they met at an awards show, which is, how a lot of celebrities meet.
Yeah, totally.
And it seems like things are going well.
Okay.
But then in May 2002, those photos from Blacktail magazine
Oh, yeah.
resurface.
I mean, that's got to be rough.
It is, and the media just goes crazy, like it's a frenzy.
Yeah, because this is something she did when she was younger, just trying to make ends meet.
Yeah, exactly, and now it's coming back to haunt her.
Yeah, it's tough.
But what's interesting is how she handled it.
Okay.
She didn't try to hide from it.
Okay.
She owned it.
Wow.
She was like, you know what, I'm not ashamed of my past.
Wow, good for her.
And there's this story that she even joked about, like, signing the photos for people.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
I know, right? So she kind of turned it into a positive, like
Yeah.
a way to stay in the press.
And it's smart.
Savvy?
You got to keep people talking.
Yeah, you got to keep people talking.
Okay.
So she actually ends up getting a $1 million deal to pose for Playboy.
Wow, so she's really leaning into it.
She's like, you know what? I'm going to embrace this.
Yeah.
And she even performs at the Playboy Mansion.
Wow, okay.
But the video does say that not everyone was happy about this. Like,
Yeah.
a British radio station, Radio 1, actually banned her music for a little bit.
Oh, wow.
So, it shows how different cultures have different views on this kind of thing.
Totally, yeah. What might fly in the U.S. is not going to fly somewhere else.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And, on a personal level, this whole thing with the photos really affected her relationship with the NBA player.
Yeah, I can imagine.
They ended up breaking up in 2003,
Okay.
which, just shows how public scrutiny can really impact your personal life.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Okay, so now we're in 2003. She releases her second album, Bittersweet.
Yes.
And how did this one do?
So it did really well. It peaked at number 7 on the Billboard charts, which is, still a great accomplishment.
Yeah.
And she got another Grammy nomination.
Oh, wow.
So the industry is still recognizing her talent.
Okay.
And the album was also successful internationally.
Okay.
So she's got a global fan base, which is awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so then this is where things get a little juicy.
A little spicy.
The rumors start swirling about a possible relationship with Jay-Z.
Dun 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 dun.
And this is when he's publicly with Beyonce.
Yeah.
So, obviously everyone's paying attention to that.
Oh, yeah. It's a big deal.
Okay, so what does Blu say about this?
So she has always maintained that they were just friends.
Okay.
But in a past interview with Wendy Williams, she did admit to having a crush on him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which, kind of added fuel to the fire.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. People love to gossip.
People love to gossip, especially in the celebrity world.
Oh, really?
Like, that's what sells magazines.
Right, exactly.
So, even an innocent admission can get blown out of proportion.
Totally. Okay, so this leads us into like a really interesting part of the story,
Okay.
which is like this whole music controversy and the comparisons between Blu's music and Beyonce's.
Right, and the video really spends a lot of time on this.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because it's fascinating.
It's so interesting.
It is.
So what are people saying?
So fans started noticing these similarities between Beyonce's song Baby Boy and Blu's song Breathe, which featured Sean Paul.
Okay.
And specifically, there's this lyric in Baby Boy that's like, let me breathe.
Interesting.
And people were like, wait a minute, that sounds really familiar.
Okay, yeah, I could see that.
Right.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just that song. People also pointed out similarities between Beyonce's Me, Myself, and I
Okay.
and some of Blu's music, like almost identical hook parts.
Wow.
So it really got people talking, like, is there something going on here?
Right, was there some influence?
Exactly.
Okay, so what does Blu say about all this?
So she did an interview with Contact Music, and she said that she's a fan of Beyonce. She thinks she's talented and beautiful.
Okay.
But then she kind of hinted that a truly original artist wouldn't need to copy other people.
Oh, she's throwing some shade.
A little bit, right?
Yeah, but also, like, I can see her point.
Yeah, you can definitely see her point. It's
Yeah.
like a subtle dig, but it's definitely there.
Yeah, and then it's not just the music.
All right.
The video also talks about how there are visual similarities
Oh, yeah.
between Blues Roundup, music video promo,
Yeah.
and then the '03 Bonnie and Clyde video with Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Right. And it's like the timing of it all, too,
Yeah.
is what really makes people suspicious.
Okay, so what happened? Like, who released what first?
So Blu released Breathe with Sean Paul first.
Okay.
And then Beyonce's Baby Boy, also with Sean Paul, came out after.
Interesting.
And that really led to Blu publicly calling Beyonce a copycat,
Oh, wow.
which is a pretty big accusation in the music industry.
Yeah, that's not the just throw around.
No, it's not.
Okay, so what was her reasoning behind that?
So she felt like Beyonce using Sean Paul on Baby Boy was like a deliberate jab at her,
Oh, wow.
especially with all the rumors about Jay-Z.
Right, because it's like you use my collaborator
Right, exactly.
on a song that sounds kind of like mine.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a lot of tension here.
There's a lot of tension, a lot of drama.
Yeah, okay, so while all this is going on publicly, what's happening in her personal life?
Okay, so the video mentions that she's dating producer Tony Darrow,
Okay.
who was actually her love interest in the Make Me Wanna Scream video.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, it's cute, right?
Yeah.
But they end up breaking up,
Okay.
and there are allegations of like physical altercations during the relationship.
No.
Yeah, but Tony Darrow has denied those claims.
Okay, so we don't know exactly what went down, but it sounds like it wasn't a good situation.
It doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
And professionally, another big change happens.
That's okay.
L.A. Reid leaves Arista Records.
Oh, wow, and he was like her big champion, right?
He was her champ. And so she's kind of like, well, I don't really want to be here without him.
Right, okay.
And so her contract is not renewed,
Oh, wow.
which is a huge blow for any artist.
Yeah, you're kind of out there on your own then.
You're on your own.
Yeah. Okay, so what does she do?
So she doesn't completely disappear from music.
Okay.
She keeps making music and touring just independently.
Okay.
So she's still hustling. She's still passionate about her music.
Yeah, she's not giving up.
She's not giving up.
That's good.
She also tries some other things like acting.
Okay.
She's in a play called Gossip, Lies, and Secrets in 2007.
Wow, okay.
And then she does this reality TV show called Celebrity Circus.
Celebrity Circus. I love it.
It's like, you know, celebrities doing circus acts.
Okay.
She gets eliminated early on, but, you know, it's cool that she's trying new things.
Right, it's all about trying to, reinvent yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there were actually rumors that she was dating one of the other contestants, Antonio Sabato Jr.,
Okay.
but her rep denied it. So, you know, who knows?
Who knows?
It's Hollywood.
It's Hollywood.
Anything is possible.
Right, exactly. Okay, so then after all this, she makes a pretty big decision.
She does. She moves to London.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. She
Okay.
kind of wants to take a break from all the fame and the craziness in the U.S.
Okay, yeah, I can understand that. It must be so overwhelming.
It must be, especially when you're going through all those personal and professional struggles.
Absolutely.
And then by 2012, it seems like she's working on new music,
Okay,
like trying to make a comeback album,
okay.
but the album never actually comes out.
Oh, that's such a bummer.
It is, I know.
Yeah.
Like fans are still waiting for it.
Yeah, I hope it comes out someday.
Oh.
Okay, so then in 2014, something pretty scary happens.
Yeah, she's found running through the streets of Santa Monica saying that she's been poisoned.
Oh, no.
And the tabloids, you know, they just go wild with this story.
Of course.
Like, they're not really concerned with her well-being. They just want the sensational story.
Oh, yeah.
And the video makes this really important point that back then, mental health wasn't really talked about,
Yeah, it's true.
especially in the entertainment industry.
It's taboo.
Yeah, and so this incident probably made people in the industry view her in a negative light.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Like, they didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah, and it's sad because it sounds like she was really struggling
Yeah, it does.
and not getting the support she needed.
Exactly.
Okay, so after this, things seem to get even tougher for her professionally.
Yeah, she doesn't get many collaborations or bookings.
Oh, wow. So people are kind of staying away from her.
Yeah, it's like she's been blacklisted almost.
Wow, that's really sad.
It is, and she even describes herself as a one-hit wonder.
Oh, which is so unfair.
It is unfair.
Yeah, because she had a great second album.
She did.
Grammy nominations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she also talks about how much she regrets that initial record deal.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she felt exploited,
Right.
and that the lawyer the label gave her wasn't really looking out for her best interests.
That's so messed up.
It is. It's really messed up.
Yeah.
And get this, she says she never saw any royalties
From her time at Arista.
from her time at Arista.
Wow.
Like, not a single penny.
That's crazy.
I know, it's insane.
Okay, so she's also feeling like she was judged way more harshly than male artists
Yes.
for those photo shoots.
Exactly. Like, there's this double standard
Oh, yeah, totally.
where women are just scrutinized way more for their sexuality.
Yeah, it's not fair at all.
It's not.
Okay, so, despite all of this, it sounds like she was still trying to make a comeback.
She was relying on her friends for support,
Okay.
trying to get back out there.
Yeah,
But it was tough. That media narrative was already out there.
right. And the industry's tough.
The industry is tough.
Yeah.
Especially for women.
Especially for women.
Especially for women of color.
100%.
It's a lot of obstacles.
Okay, so now let's get to the really juicy part of the video,
Okay.
which is all about like the sabotage and erasure theories.
Right. This is where things get really interesting.
Yeah, so basically the video is suggesting that there were deliberate actions taken to kind of push Blu out of the industry.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it all revolves around this rumored love triangle
Okay.
between Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Blu.
Okay, so the theory is that Jay-Z and Beyonce were like, we got to get her out of here.
Yeah, like she's a threat.
Right.
And we got to protect our power couple status.
Oh my God, it's like a movie.
Yes, right.
Okay, so what's the evidence?
Okay, so one of the things the video talks about is this woman named Shaw,
Okay.
and she believes that the name Blue Ivy for Beyonce and Jay-Z's daughter
Okay.
was chosen on purpose
Oh no.
to kind of overshadow Blu Cantrell's name in search results
Wow.
and like in the public consciousness.
That is a little creepy.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Like, how calculated is that?
Right, and it's like if you Google Blu, now you're going to get,
You're going to get Blue Ivy?
yeah, not Blu Cantrell.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting.
It is.
Okay, so there's also this former backup singer, Jaguar Wright,
Yes.
who has come forward and said that Blu's career went downhill
Yeah.
after she allegedly had a brief relationship with Jay-Z.
Right.
Okay, and then the video also points out that the timing of Blu's contract not being renewed is kind of suspicious.
Because it happened in 2004, right when Jay-Z became president of Def Jam Records.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, did he have something to do with it?
Right, is that just a coincidence? Or is
Ah.
there something else going on?
Exactly. And the video does mention that there were public appearances of Jay-Z and Blu together
Okay.
back in the day.
So they did know each other.
They did know each other, so there
Yeah.
was some kind of connection there.
Okay.
And then there's this interview that Blu did with Wendy Williams in 2003.
Oh, yeah.
And this is kind of seen as a turning point
Okay.
because she talks about her crush on Jay-Z and gossips about Beyonce a little bit.
Yeah.
And Wendy Williams even says on air, like, look out, Beyonce Blu is in town, which is, kind of a shady comment.
Yeah.
And you can see how that might not have gone over well.
Yeah, you don't want to piss off Beyonce.
You don't want to piss off Beyonce.
No.
And there's also this story about Diddy complimenting Blu on her nude photos,
Okay.
which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But the video suggests that maybe some people in the industry saw her sexuality as a problem.
Okay.
Like it made her too risky
Okay.
to work with.
Interesting.
And then Shaw and Jaguar Wright, they both say that other female artists,
Okay.
like Aaliyah Mia Monica,
Okay.
also faced obstacles in their careers
As Beyonce was rising to fame?
as Beyonce was rising to fame.
Interesting.
So they're suggesting there's like a pattern here.
Wow. Okay.
And Jaguar Wright even directly calls out Blu to speak up.
Oh, wow.
Like she says, Jay-Z worked very hard to erase you and me.
Wow.
So it's like she's implying that she was also a victim of this sabotage.
Wow. Okay. So obviously we can't say for sure if any of this is true,
Right.
but it's definitely some food for thought.
It's definitely something to think about.
Yeah.
Like there's no smoke without fire.
Right. And I mean, the timing of everything is definitely suspicious.
It is suspicious.
Yeah.
It's hard to ignore.
Okay. So the video ends with a little glimmer of hope.
It does.
It mentions that she performed in London in March 2020,
Yeah.
which surprised a lot of people.
It did because she's not really active on social media.
Right.
So it was like, oh, wow, she's still out there.
Yeah. She's still doing her thing.
She's still doing her thing.
Okay. So I guess the big question is what's next for Blu Cantrell?
I know, right? Like,
All right.
is she going to make a comeback? Is she happy doing what she's doing?
Yeah.
It's kind of a mystery.
Okay. So let's wrap this up. We went through a lot of information.
We did.
Based on this video, it seems like Blu Cantrell had a really fast rise to fame with Hit 'em Up style.
Yeah, it was like overnight success,
Right.
which is amazing, but also can be overwhelming,
Totally.
you know?
It's a lot to handle.
Yeah, and then she had to deal with those.